I think it is about time that I make a video about Tempest on my channel, as I have successfully avoided this spec so far. And we have a pretty good and simple to play DPS build now, which surprisingly wasn't nerfed. Yet. And I hope it will still exist until the new expansion or balance patch, because elementalists need this build. As for the build itself, I tested it in a few strikes, Dragonstorm and meta events, and it is quite good. It survives better than Weaver since it has some range, and it kills things fast enough that you do not really need to use overloads unless you are fighting stronger mobs, which was something that I was looking forward to since the heal alacrity or Condi DPS alacrity builds need to spam overloads, and this one has just one overload in the rotation. Okay, now let me show you the gear that I am using. I have full Berserker's armor with runes of Dragon Hunter, but you can also use runes of the Scholar. I already had this set for the Weaver build, so I used it for the build as well. As for the weapons, I am using Scepter for the main hand with Sigil of Force and Warhorn in the offhand with Sigil of Impact. But you can also use Sigil of Accuracy since it's cheaper, and both weapons have Berserker stats. As for the accessories, you should go again full Berserker unless you're not at 100% crit chance. If that is the case, you should use 1 or 2 pieces of Assassin's gear to get as close as possible to 100%. And the relic is Relic of Fireworks, which is standard for power builds, especially the ones that use the Warhorn because of the 20 seconds cooldown. Now, moving on to the build, it is a bit different from the usual ones as we will use Water trait in combination with Fresh Air. So we have Water with Piercing Shards, Flow like Water, and Soothing Power, which helps with the survivability. But if you do not have problems, you can choose Powerful Aura too. Next we have Air with Ferocious Wind, Storm Soul, and Fresh Air, which refreshes the air attunement whenever we do a critical strike on an enemy. And Tempest with Unstable Conduit, Tempestuous Area, and Transcended Tempest. As for the skills, I am using Wash the Pain Away, but you can use something else too. Then I have Glyph of Storms, which should be used in air attunement as it has the highest damage, but also the highest cooldown. Then we have Feel the Burn for the Tempestuous Area trait, and then we have Signet of Fire to increase our crit chance to 100%. So you shouldn't activate the Signet as you want the passive effect. And for the ultimate we have Glyph of Elementals, which should also be summoned while in fire attunement for the highest damage. And that should cover the gear and build. Now let's move on to the rotation. I'm starting in air attunement with the overload and then switch to water and cast skill 2 and 3. Use Feel the Burn for the damage increase and then switch to air and hit the Glyph of Storms, then skill 5 with the overload right after. Switch to fire and use skill 2 and 5 and then 3, and then switch again to air without using the fire overload and start again. One thing to point out here is that you can use Air 2, Air 3 and Shouts while casting or channeling other skills. So when you do the air overload, you should cast skill 2 and skill 3 if you need CC as they are instant and do not interrupt the overload. As you can see, the rotation is pretty simple and you have a few skills that you need to cast. You also have Air 4 and Water 4 for strong CC when you need to destroy a break bar, and you have soft CCs with Earth 5, Air 3 and Water 2. Now let me show you how it does in strikes or open world content.
combination. Cooling down. Charged up.
Sharper still.
A thousand swords. Flame storm. Flood it. Feel the burn. Lethal combination. I like it. Ocean's power. Summon the power of the storm. That was a blast. That's her, or we're done. Blood. Impressive combination. No. Feel the fury.
Smash that!
Fire them. Arise and do mine.
Knowledge is power.
Feel the burn. Flood it. Have at you. You'll be doing that one for days. You still have to hit much harder. I feel good.
Sick of
You are all weaklings.
Agony, torment, pain. I'm neither here nor there.
Charged up. Time to do some real damage. You are all weaklings. Another.
replenishing.
Chill to the bone.
Lightning bolt.
You're seeing.
That was a blast. Feel the burn. Fire.
In conclusion, this is a very easy build to play and does decent damage. Of course, in experienced hands it will do even more damage, but I think it is a good starting point if you are planning to give Elementalist a try. Also, because of the Soothing Water trait and the Jade bot core, you'll have more vitality, and with the range from Scepter it will increase the overall survivability by quite a bit. So I think you should at least give it a try if you have an elementalist or you plan to make one in the near future. The build is really fun. If you want to see more content like this, please let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please click the like and subscribe buttons.